We are comparing Lakewood Church and Transformation Church broadcast cameras. These two churches are known for their high quality broadcast for their church services. In this video, we're gonna take a closer look at their camera setups and some other equipment they use to bring their services to their viewers. Also, I'll be revealing the key secrets if you need to build the same setup but at a lower budget. So if you are interested in the technical aspects of church broadcast or live broadcast in general, or simply curious about how these two churches are able to deliver such high quality content, then be sure to stick around. Starting with Lakewood Church, they have 8 cameras in total that they use to live stream their service. Of course, they have some other equipment, but for the purpose of this video, we're gonna be focusing only on the cameras. And of course, look at these huge cameras and these huge lenses. I know you're wondering why. One of the main reasons why they use these huge cameras, as you can see, the venue is super big. In fact, it can seat up to 16,000 people, and that is why they need huge lenses that can actually handle the zooming and the stabilization. And of course, the lenses have to match the cameras, and as you can see, they have these huge broadcast cameras. Speaking of huge cameras and lenses, I know you want to know the models and the prices, of course, but don't worry, we're gonna get to that in a minute. But before that, let's go back and check out Transformation Church's cameras. According to this interview that their production team had with Canon, they actually revealed that they use Canon cinema cameras. So many reasons behind, but few of them being the fact that they do really perform well without breaking the bank, and the way they handle different skin tones, considering the fact that Transformation Church is a multi-ethnicity church. Remember, Transformation Church is a fast-growing church and evolving, so don't be surprised. Maybe by the time I record this video, they may have added newer cameras. Let's take a look at the other cinema cameras here. We have the C700, and if I take a look at Canon's website, it is actually listed at $42,000. Now, during this interview, they actually mentioned having 3 C300 Mark IIs and 2 C700s. Now, the C300 Mark II actually retails at $7,500 on B&H, which is kinda cool because it's under $10,000, which could be an option for many of us, or maybe not. But either way, if you're enjoying this content, subscribe to my channel because it's free. So let's talk about some of their lenses. Actually, we have the 50 to 1000 mm lens. This is a cinema lens, by the way, and it retails at around $70,000 from B&H. You can look it up. Another lens that we have a 17 to 120 mm, and this is about 24K. We also have an 18 to 80 mm lens and a 70 to 200 mm lens as well, and all these lenses are actually cinema lenses. So these are not your traditional normal Canon lenses, you know. They got the power, silver zoom and everything, so that's why they are a little more expensive compared to what you used to. But wait, I know you like why he keeps throwing big numbers. Remember, these guys are reaching millions and millions every single week, so it is worth it to actually invest in their equipment to make sure they're giving the best viewing experience to their online audience. Now let's go back to Lakewood Church, and this is gonna be a different game. You know why? This is a venue that can actually take up to 16,000 people. So the zooming needed is not the same. The distance needed to cover whatever they're covering is not the same. The amount of stabilization that they need is not the same. And I know you're curious, you want to know how much they spend on each camera and each lens. For example, this is a Fujinon 4K broadcast lens, and this is just a quick example. If you look at it, it costs on B&H, not too far, over $200,000. You still with me? Thank you. As for cameras, they are actually using mostly Sony broadcast cameras. And this is a quick example. This one right here cost around $40,000. Did you notice something? The lens is more expensive than the camera. So obviously, I'm not here to throw numbers or to brag about what these guys are doing or to say, oh, they're spending too much money on the equipment. I just want to remind you guys that these guys are serving, they're reaching a lot of people, and they are on a bigger scale. Looking at Lakewood Church, I actually did a full tour with their tech team members, and what they have is like a television studio in a church, and their numbers, they reach really millions of people every week. So it's justified. What can I and you actually learn from these guys? Number one, excellence. These guys, they actually invest in serving their online audience, and they want to give them the best experience possible. Number two, service. They actually understand the value of somebody who's watching them online. It's not just another subscriber or another follower. It's actually an actual human being who's as equal as the person who are seated in the actual physical venue. So they value that person and they serve them because they have understood the power of online video and the impact that the online video can have on people's lives. So another question is, how can I or can you actually learn from them and try to do the same thing at a lower cost? First of all, I look at the actual results. What kind of results do I want? What kind of numbers, or what's my target audience? So let's say if you have 500 people in your physical venue and you want to serve, I don't know, a few thousands of people that you want to reach online, you need to look at those numbers and actually decide how much you want to invest every year into your online video. Once you know that, I'm actually gonna give you a few tips that will help you replicate the same results from these churches. Tip number one, make sure your lighting is on point. Obviously, even though you see the image from Lakewood or Transformation Church is actually really good, it's not because they have the best cameras, although they have good cameras and good lenses. But the main thing is actually the main image is being produced by the actual lighting. So your lighting should be the number one priority when it comes to getting good image. Make sure your stage is well designed and make sure you actually have good lights for your talents. Number two, your audio. Even though we did not discuss audio, make sure your audio sounds really good, because that's what the online audience is actually going to enjoy first before they even look at your video. Number three, obviously, as you saw, lenses are actually more expensive than cameras. So make sure you get the best lenses that you can afford, actually, that can handle first, number one, your zooming. Number two, stabilization. You don't want a shaky video. Number three, obviously, to be able to handle the distance and actually handle low light situations. Before we talk about the cameras, you need to really know your space, how much space you have, and once you know, you're actually going to know the kind of lenses that you're gonna need. And obviously after that, you can go ahead and actually invest in cameras. I would, because by the time I record this video, I mean, we're still doing 1080p, but eventually invest in a camera that can last long time or can be actually future proof. So maybe something that can actually handle 4K video, because eventually everything's gonna get into 4K and then maybe 6K and then 8K and then who knows, 20K. I don't know. You get the point. Obviously, we talked about cameras today, but these guys have other stuff, including switchers, some gear to control the cameras, some audio gear, some lights. So they have a lot of stuff that actually I would encourage you to check out my full tech tour that I did with Lakewood Church, where you're gonna see everything. It's gonna be linked at the end. And my last tip, actually, if you haven't subscribed yet and you're still watching, is make sure you subscribe to my channel, especially if you are into live streaming or live broadcast or video recording. My name is Sam. You're watching Live Production Tips and Tools, and I'll see you on my next video. Take care.